Hello. I'm gonna make a quick video. I don't know if it'll be quick, but hope it's helpful. I recently posted a pattern. I had used Rapid Resizer to redraw the pattern and then convert it to a file I could put on using Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to show you the process I used to do that. I hope it's helpful. We're going to start with Rapid Resizer. If you don't have Rapid Resizer, it's a great program to have. Let's see, I'm starting over. I've done this too many times because I want to make sure I get you all the information when you're using this. There's a lot of frustrating things I've found out along the way, so hopefully I can help you with most of those. So to start, Rapid Resizer, you're going to get to load a design to resize. Once you've got designs, you can go to your library of patterns. There's a library of patterns available to use, or you have saved designs. We're going to start with load a design to resize. I am going to go to a photo that I have that I have redrawn many times today. Hopefully this will be the last take and hopefully it's helpful. So we're going to start with something I drew. If I can find it, here we go. So you just select a file. You can select a picture and you can draw over a picture. You can trace over a picture and turn it into a pattern. A lot of people wonder how to turn a picture into a pattern. This is a great way to do that. Anyhow, we start here, we import the picture. What we want to do is we want to customize this. So from this menu here, we're going to go to the designer. Okay. And it's going to put this picture on our canvas. While it's on our canvas, we can manipulate it around. We can zoom in and out. I like to use my keyboard for zooming. I just command and plus or minus. Again, if I haven't just selected what's on the canvas, it'll do the whole screen like you saw. So if we click into the canvas and command plus, and it's not zooming our toolbar in as well. So there we go. Different things we can do. You can draw a straight line. It's going to do point to point wherever you want. I'm just going to hit delete. I don't use that a whole lot. A lot of my lines are curved. Arc is another one. It's going to create an arc. The select tool will let you make that arc bigger or smaller. Again, delete. You have the option. Have the option down below of circles and squares. It can be inserted. You can use these to, make patterns if you want to and manipulate those. I'm going to delete that. So anyways, those are just some things in here you can play with in Rapid Resizer to create designs or whatever. It's a great little program. I enjoy it. Primarily what I do for my patterns, though, if I'm going to redraw them and put them into the Cricut Design Space, is I'm going to use the curve line. And because I'm drawing over black, I don't want a black line because this pattern won't matter that much, but on another pattern, the black on black is hard to see where you've actually drawn. So I'm going to select this and make it red. And I want to undo that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom my pattern in. I'm not going to draw this whole mushroom out for you, but I am going to do the top of it. Hit my select tool so I can move this around, zoom in a little bit here. We're just going to do this top piece. This was an actual pattern I was making. You can see I took a picture of it. We're just going to work over that. So go to our curve. All right, we're going to start here, and we're just going to... You hear all the thumping. That's because I'm on a MacBook Pro, so I'm using the pad. If you have a mouse, this might be easier. You can see that's a pretty wonky line. That's not going to matter. It's really awesome about this program. All right, so I've drawn a couple to start with, and I want to come over to select and move. Whatever is highlighted is the line you'll be able to work with. If I want to work with this one, I'm going to select it. If for any reason I'm outside of that and I try to select something now, it's not going to, because what it's done, if I zoom out real quick, is it has again selected the whole pattern. So to get rid of that, you hit your escape key, is what I have found after many moments of frustration trying to figure out why I couldn't grab my lines anymore. So once you hit the escape key, then I can come back and I can select the line I want to work with. From there, I'm just going to start moving these anchor points around a little bit. It's going to smooth things out, get it where I want. And you can play with this, zoom in and out to get these lines as perfect as you want. I'm not going to, Oh, this is another great thing. If you don't grab an anchor point, it's going to move your whole line. Come over here to undo. It'll snap it back to where it was. Select your line. I thought that was an anchor point. It's not. And then we're just going to move this around a little more. Get a little bit going here, and it starts to smooth out just the way I want it. And bring him down. That line doesn't look too terrible. I'm not going to get too finicky. I'm a little OCD, but not too terrible. All right, so I'm going to hit escape because I can't get into this one because it's selected outside of it. So to get to this one, I hit escape, and then I can manipulate this line a little bit. We want to make sure that our lines always come together. Otherwise, we're going to have gaps when we start cutting our vinyl for our patterns. So you do want to make sure these always touch. Make sure they don't go too far out. Another great thing, sometimes these lines join. You're trying to move one and it's moving both of them. It's actually okay when they join, but if you try and move something at this point now you can't. So what you come is to detach line over here. When you hit detach line, then you can just move it around. It'll get rid of it, so you don't have to worry about that. And then to get back to the way we were moving things, we go to the select tool again and it'll let us select the line and move. And now it's actually detached. All right, I'm going to draw just a couple more lines here. And get this guy and that. We'll do this one. Oh, I think doesn't want to draw a curve now. I don't know what's going on there. All right, undo. Just hit undo when something's not working right. And I got to go back up and select my curve again. It didn't want to draw that time. So there we go. Just making it rough, getting it to where I want it, and then I can just manipulate it into place with these. This is kind of awesome. As you play with it, you get a little bit better at it. Here it's not quite doing what I want, so I actually want another anchor point. So I go add and delete a point, bring that in, go back up, hit my select tool, and now I can get a little bit more finicky when you play with this. There we go. That let me smooth it out a little bit. Now it's being stubborn because my finger's not releasing. I'm going to hit escape so I can get back down to this line. I'm definitely going to need an anchor point there, so I'm going to put one in right here. Go back up, switch to my tool here. And that rounds off. I'm going to round that off a little more. I like that better right there. And there. Don't have that sharp corner. Come over here. I think I'm going to do the same thing over here. Move this up. I'm going to move this over here. Then I'm going to come back and manipulate this one a little bit, I think. Add a point right here to play with that. Alright, and we're going to slide that right back up there. Come back to this one. Add an anchor point here. And there you go. So you can just kind of manipulate that around the way you want it. Get this here. Go back, draw a couple more curves here. Excuse my sound effects. And we'll draw one more area right here. That actually doesn't look horrible. I'm not going to get too perfectionist on you here. We'll just kind of, there we go. So once we've got this, if we continue on, we could draw the whole thing. You put a little bit of time in it, then you have a pattern ready to go, especially if you want to duplicate them. Take some time, make them nice. All right, from here, we have the lines, but we don't want the rest of this because that can't go into Design Space. So we're going to come over and we're going to get our eraser tool. This eraser will erase everything except what we've created in here. So these lines here, it'll erase them initially, but they will come back. So we're going to make this eraser big because I want to get rid of everything. Make that sucker huge, and it's just going to erase everything for me. You can make this small for cleaning up patterns. If you have for instance, a pattern you've purchased and you want to take the numbers off because you don't want Cricut cutting the numbers, you can use this pattern or this eraser and 0.05, and then you can erase little tiny stuff. You can make this as little as you want, and you can get rid of little lines inside, you know, so you can play with the size of the eraser, and that's helpful on like purchase designs for getting rid of things that are in there that you want to get rid of but not take the lines out, and that's really helpful. So anyways, the eraser is your friend. We'll get rid of the rest of this, and then I will take you into the process of putting this into Design Space. So you see what we're left with is just what we drew. So from here we want to save our pattern. We're going to go see our Cricut mushroom. All right, so once it uploads, we want to go back to this Rapid Resizer. I think I've shown you everything in here. There's other things you can play with in here, but that's the gist of drawing it and getting it going. So now we've saved that, so we want to go into our Save Designs, and we're going to select this. You can see I made one earlier. Of course, there was more I wanted to add into this video, so I'm redoing it. We're going to print or customize. Oh, actually, no, we're not yet. I'm sorry. We've got to go back. We actually need to customize it. So we are going to go to print or customize. I have to go back into the Design Space. Key thing I forgot to tell you is the line size. So we're going to go bring it back into Designer. We're going to select all, because when you take this to Rapid Resizer, or I'm sorry, to Cricut Design Space, the line size is important. I played with that and played with it to try and find the right line size. 0.02 to 0.03 is optimum for line size. I'm going to go 0.02. I am going to resave this and overwrite. Come on, save. Overwrite the one we just did with the proper line size. There we go. So you can see how you can bring it back in and make a change if you need. I've been doing that for hours here trying to get this right. So you guys will be able to hopefully get this right. So we're going to go back to our Save Designs now. Now we're going to select that again. Print or Customize. So we don't need this sized for a huge pattern, so we're going to go Fit to one page. If you did want to print out a pattern to resize it, some people want to know how to resize a pattern. There's a great program for that. You just select the size you want, and it'll print out multiple pages you can tape together for a larger design. But we want to fit to one page. Then we're going to go to download from here, and we're going to download a PNG file. This works the best for everything you want to do and makes the lines come out the right thickness. I can't get it to do it with SVG. They come out too thin. Those are great for copper overlay and stuff like that. But anyways, the PNG, we're going to save it. So then you're just going to right click on this image. Don't hit the print, it doesn't work. Right click or control on my Mac, control and select save image as. We're gonna go, all right, let's see, Cricut mushroom 2. Maybe I better do that so I know the right one. Cricut mushroom 2. Save that. So we've got everything done here we need to do. So we're gonna get out of here, go to Cricut Design Space. From here we upload the image. We gotta browse it. Find it in here. Let's see, where did you go? Oh, Cricut. Cricut, it's gonna be up top. Cricut mushroom, there we go. All right, once we've got it in here, you make it a simple pattern for cutting it onto vinyl. Continue from there. If you haven't done this before, once you get to this phase, you have to select all these areas. If you just apply now, it's just going to be blank, so you have to actually select all the cut areas until you're left with just the lines here. Once you've done that, apply and continue. We're going to do it for a cut image, so select that and then come down and upload. From there, you select it, add it to your canvas, and you're ready to go. Important, you can see that I didn't connect these lines. You want to zoom in and make sure these lines are connected, otherwise you're going to have trouble spots when you go to weed this out. So we're not going to worry about that right now, but do want to check when your patterns are done that all lines are connected before you start. From here you can manipulate the size. it's in aspect ratio or whatever lock, so the ratio lock is on. You can unlock that, and then you can make it fat or wide, whatever, get it up into position, and you're ready to cut it. Something that I discovered here recently that I'll just pass on is that if you've cut a pattern and you have a piece that you need to recut, key first before you ever cut the pattern when you're ready to cut is take note of the size of the pattern. Write it down, keep it so that you know what it is in case you do need to come back. You want the same size when you get ready to cut again. So take note of that before you ever cut your pattern. Then if you had to cut just say a piece of it, say we just needed to get, I broke this and I needed another piece of vinyl, we come over to our shapes, we select a square, and then we're going to take that square and put it right over the piece that we want to recut. Once it's over the piece we want to recut, we want to hit the command key, make sure both of these are selected. If they are, you'll see the option to slice. That is going to just select that area under the square. Then you can hide this because we don't need it. From here, hit your select all, and you can move that into place, and then you can just cut the piece that you've highlighted there. It won't cut the whole pattern. If you don't select all, it's going to separate those. So you do want to make sure when it's out here that you select all so that you can move it into place up in the corner, and then you can print off just an individual piece. Hope that's helpful.